Why do average houses have lawns? Where else are you going to hang out and play yard games during the summer? Green space. In areas where it rains a lot, having a lawn with living grass helps absorb the excess rain. That helps with preventing flooding on your street. One of my neighbors took out her entire backyard grass and laid down concrete. Believe me when I say that when it rains now, her sidewalk in front of her house floods massively. That excess of water that's not being absorbed by all the grass that was concreted over also adds to the flooding on our street. It's nice to have a little patch to get out and enjoy. Also, shorter grasses or a mowed lawn around your house can help keep pests from invading. I mean, so would rock or concrete. But those items make it hotter if you live somewhere that gets hot. I don't like all of the energy, money, and water it takes to do the whole manicured lawn thing, but one of native grasses and/or clover are good for wildlife and the health of the soil. Ever see a house after it is built? The whole lot is just dirt. Grass helps with erosion control. Without it you can enjoy a mud bog or a mud slope if the ground is not flat, and during dry times can enjoy all that fantastic does. They stem from aristocracy. Look, I have all this land and I don't need to grow crops or grass. I can afford to feed my cattle and acquire my crops by other means instead of my own home. If you have 2,000 or 3,000 square feet of empty space at the front of your house, a lawn is a good solution. It looks better than concrete or crushed rock. It's green, it keeps visibility high, both to make your house visible and to see outside, which is also good for security. I guess the question is, what would you recommend having there instead of a lawn? In most places, grass is relatively low maintenance. Mow it once a week and doesn't require a ton of time to upkeep unless you want to choose to drop a lot of time into it. If you're in an arid climate, y'all chose rock and stone, because grass is a major PETA. But otherwise, if you don't have something there, weeds will take over and y'all just be dealing with a muddy, weedy mess. It's less work than a vegetable garden. I think it originated with the prominent displays of wealth on British estates. To have all that land planted with something pretty useless was probably quite impressive when surrounded by subsistence farmers who were just getting by. I think OP needs to be more clear on what they are suggesting is the alternative. Or what sizes of lawn we're talking about. Are we talking gravel or concrete instead? Are we promoting native species? Are we talking an acre of turf grass? What are we talking here? It seems we're talking about the extremes when most people have a reasonable amount of grass, which is usually for enjoying a soft ground to spend time on and not have the even worse option of gravel or concrete or other heat traps causing terrible environments. Lawns started as status symbols, showing off wealth by using land for leisure instead of farming. This idea spread, becoming a sign of a well-kept, suburban home. Today, they are part of the typical house for their looks, recreational space, and because it's just what's done. It looks nice, and having some greenery around is good for people's mental health. It looks nice and is comfortable and clean to walk sit on barefoot. The minutiously manicured lawn as an aesthetic choice for a house traces its origins back to English country houses. Think Downton Abbey. It was a status symbol for the landed nobility. The custom was imported to America by colonists. A place like Jefferson's Monticello, in Virginia, is modeled after those grandiose English houses. It still permeates the culture to this day. In my personal opinion, the more urban and the smaller the house, the more ridiculous those lawns look. They only make sense when the goal is to afford an unencumbered view of a massive and architecturally superb mansion in an isolated and otherwise wooded area. Unless your home is sitting alone amongst acres of forests and is a marvel to look at, there is really no point in having a lawn. The lawn is supposed to be a clearing in your large estate. https://media.architecturaltigas.com photos 568 C51 EDB 3-13 8-1-15 FD 54 3W 596 H4547 Claimate English Manor 1 to JPG https://media.architecturaldigest.com photos 568 C51 EDB 3-13 8-1-15 FD 54 3W 596 H4547 Claimate English Manor 1 to JPG. In a practical sense, lawns are extremely useful for absorbing rainfall. Where I live, untended wildland makes your home more susceptible to wildfire and people and pets more susceptible to tick bites that can transmit Lyme disease. I don't need to water it or apply chemicals, and mowing once a week is a pleasant activity. The alternatives sound comparatively bleak. Try looking it up on YouTube. I saw a good video on it once. Basically, lawns were at one point a huge symbol of wealth. Only rich people could afford the upkeep on them. As time goes on and technology advances, it becomes less expensive to have a lawn, so middle-class people start getting lawns as a display of wealth. At some point it stopped becoming a display of wealth and more just a social expectation. Having a lawn is normal and lack of a lawn indicates someone is poor or weird. I'm anti-lawn. I see the upkeep as a waste of resources. Having a grass monoculture is also not great for the environment. It provides a reasonably soft surface for kids to play outside on, and provides separation from the general public. Largely delineates my land from the public sidewalk in front. Think about it, if you just had concrete between your house and the street, how much likelier would it be for random people to approach too close? And how many more kid skin knees would you have to deal with? Keep the rodents and snakes population down near your house. If you let it grow naturally, you're going to have a thorny 3ft high weed field full of snakes and rats and mice and ticks. What I was told at the USDA was that grasses native to America grew slow and were not suitable for animal agriculture, so grasses were imported from Europe and Bermuda to sustain animals like cows and sheep. Then, most people grew grass on land that they wanted or could use in the future as a placeholder, so you didn't have to clear a forest twice. As the USA shifted away from animal agriculture and into more of an industrial economy, some people just liked the look of grass, but didn't have or want animals. So some people just grew grass lawns for the aesthetic value. Others followed